Hello from Des Moines. SwineWeb is here at World Pork Expo, bringing you exclusive coverage from the heart of the pork industry. We're connecting you with the familiar faces you know, while also introducing you to cutting-edge technologies, innovative products, and new solutions designed to support pork producers and their farms. From precision in the hog barn tools to the latest in swine health and nutrition, we're showcasing everything you need to stay ahead in the pork industry. Stay tuned as we interview industry leaders, explore exciting new innovations, and give you an inside look at how the pork industry continues to evolve. What message would you like to share with pork producers across North America?
I think the main thing is we're really appreciative of the level of collaboration we have. So I'm always at the Minnesota and the Iowa Pork Congresses. I usually will have a roundtable with producers at that. The Iowa Pork Producers Association, the Minnesota Pork Producers Association, they've been amazing. So then I come here, I'm at the World Pork Expo, and I've had the same level of collaboration and hospitality with the national level folks. So we had our Minister of Agriculture here last year. We walked the show, had a lot of great meetings, and it's really clear we're dealing with many of the same issues and challenges, and when we work together, we have more benefit from that. So it's mutually beneficial, and I'm really appreciative of the work that we're able to do together. And I would say thank you for being there. And when it comes to things like trade, many times we're on the same page. We understand that trade is important. We're all fighting for the same, competitive global market. We want to see things like USMCA maintained, and we understand the value of working together on trade. So thanks for continuing to be good traders and working with us.
We are here talking about keeping track of your feed efficiently on your farm with Darren at Bin Century. Hello, Darren.
Hi.
And so let's talk about what Bin Century does. How does it monitor the feed for hog producers?
Okay. So what we do is we mount a sensor at the top of the bin, and that uses cell phone technology to send information to the cloud. We don't alter the bin at all. It just gets attached at the top. And what that sensor does is it sends light out into the bin every 4 hours, and we collect that information back in on the time of flight, the time it takes those light beams to come back to the sensor. And that gives us an accurate image of the bin, of the feed in the bin. And with that information, our algorithms calculate exactly an exact quantity of feed in the bin. And that helps producers understand when they need to refill bins and change slides. And that's new information, so we've never been able to see inside of a bin accurately before. There's been other technologies that haven't been as effective at looking at the total contour of the feed in the bin, because it's rarely level. And so what this does is it gives an accurate inventory, and then we can determine when's the best time to to refill the bin or to change slides.
And let's talk about the slides. What's the technology that you have for the slides on the bin?
Okay, because we're monitoring both bins in a twin bin system, we'll see when the first bin goes empty, and if the feed doesn't start to go out of the second bin, we know that slide hasn't been moved. And so this is new information. Most farmers haven't seen that information before. They just have to, kind of use their judgment to determine when to open that slide or climb up top and check when that first bin is going empty. Now we know it's like a gas gauge. If you don't know when your tank is going to run out, then you're always topping it up. Now we know exactly when that tank is going to come empty. It's like a distance to empty. We know exactly when it's going to come in, so we know that we've got to open that slide in the next hour. We're finding that this is, like I said, new information, and it's happening probably 4 to 4.5 times more than true out of feed issues at the bin. Normally, what we've seen in the past is bins go empty, and it's alarming, and everybody's scrambling to try and get feed there. In this situation, we've got feed. We've done all the work to get the feed to the bin, but because of a lack of opening that slide, we're not getting feed to the hogs, and that's the critical thing, is to keep the feed flowing.
So, Darren, how does your app work and how do you communicate with producers that have your product?
Okay, so all the information goes up into the cloud, so you can access it on a computer or on your phone, so that you know what's there. But oftentimes around the bins, guys are busy and they're running around. So what we found was they weren't always going in and checking emails and looking for notifications. And so recently we've launched our critical event management, and it's a way that producers are texted. So we just send a text that this is happening. Different producers will put the text on at different times, so you can set it to come notify you within 4 hours or 8 hours when something is happening and you need to take action. It's critical because knowing you have got a problem is one thing, but actually instigating the solution is the critical aspect of making the technology work. So the text just comes to your phone, no need for an app, no need for anything, it's just a text message. Hey, whistle over to bin number 4 and move that slide.
And how can people get a hold of your company or find out more information about the bin technology you offer?
Oh, the best way is at binsentry.com, and just there's lots of information there. There's videos and that goes into more information. We did a large-scale study with a large producer here in the United States, Hanor, and there's lots of that type of information on the site as well.
Well, thank you, and it's great to see you again at World Pork. I'm here with Dan at PIC, and we're going to talk about behavioral traits and the things that you are finding in the pork industry.
Yeah, so a lot of exciting research right now on the behavior front. For years and years, we've tried to measure behavior traits on pigs, and it's been very labor intensive. You can imagine, if you got a human observer observing a pen of pigs, he can only observe so many pigs in a given amount of time, right? And then we went to where we would video the pigs, and we would watch the video later and record these behavior traits. But still, you're just getting single pigs or groups of pigs, but never enough numbers to start to make a significant impact on behavior traits. So today we're using new technologies, right, and artificial intelligence to be able to track the pig's behavior. And as we think about why is behavior important? Behavior affects the animal's performance, the welfare of the animal, and also the health. So it is a valuable area to invest in. But today, like I said, we're using cameras above pens of commercial pigs, and those cameras have artificial intelligence evaluating that digital feed, and we can start to track individual behaviors, like how much distance the pig walks, the XY movements of the pig, the time the pig spends lying or standing, the time he spends eating at the feeder or spends time drinking. And we can do this on thousands of pigs real time. Just imagine the amount of data if you're tracking individual pigs all day long across numbers of pigs. We get thousands and thousands of data points. So in this camera and the algorithms that are predicting or measuring these behaviors, they're very objective too. So if it says the pig is walking, it's walking, right? And the neat thing about that is the initial analysis we did, we found those traits to be very heritable. So we have heritabilities in the 20 to 40% range. That means if we select for those traits, we can change them genetically. But the interesting thing was we didn't really know what behaviors we want, right? We want a calm, gentle pig that performs very well, but that sounds a little bit subjective. My definition of a calm pig versus yours could be a little bit different, right? So there's a science called social network analysis. And that's basically understanding how the pigs relate to each other in the pen, right? So think about a hierarchy, right? We know in any group of people or livestock or anything, we all get in groups, right? And within a group, each person probably behaves a little bit different and responds to others in the group differently. And usually in most groups, you have a dominant individual and you might have a subordinate individual, right? And then within a pen of pigs, you might have a central group, and you might have subgroups of smaller groups of pigs, right? And then how do those different groups interact with each other, and then different pigs within that group interact within their group. So that's kind of the social network analysis. So now we know how the pigs are interacting with each other. And then we can tie that to their performance, how those different behaviors and interactions are impacting growth rate and efficiency and robustness and the welfare of the pig. So this is really a breakthrough now that we can have, artificial intelligence help us measure these traits consistently and accurately on large bodies of data, right? And then this allows us to create new traits that we can select for and make a pig that better fits the environment, a pig that's more robust, but still high performing and has a low cost of production.
Can you talk about how the digital phenotyping is working in real time and how we are categorizing that for farmers?
Yeah. So the digital phenotyping, it's been several projects that continue to evolve over time. The initial project, and the one that is probably the most visual today, is where we're actually recording gilts as they walk down an aisle of a finishing barn, and we're watching these females or boars walk by. And the artificial intelligence is picking out different features of those animals as they're walking by. They're measuring the change in the angle to each joint as the pig walks. They're measuring how consistent the length of stride is, where each foot sets down, if the tail is down or up, if the pig's back is level, probably over 200 different features as that gilt walks by. And then we're taking that, putting that into an algorithm using machine learning and predicting what a PIC select gilt is. So a pig that has the right feet and leg structure, and we know that right feet and leg structure is a better predictor of longevity in the sow herd. So this is a case where we can very accurately measure the phenotype of an animal using digital technology. We have less humans involved, and we have less bias involved because the camera and the algorithm score the pig the same each and every time. Whereas if we had trained people selecting those gilts for feet and leg soundness, they would be similar most of the time, but not 100% of the time. So you have a little bit of bias in there. In this case, we're more accurate, we're more consistent, more repeatable, and we get a higher heritability, 3 times greater than what we were doing previously with humans. So that just allows us to make more progress on feet and leg structure, and again, hopefully impact retention in the breeding herd and structural soundness and longevity at the same time.
If producers would like to find out more information about this product, where can they look it up or check out more resources to read about it?
Yeah, I think a good starting point is to look at PIC.com. We've got a lot of resources there, but also reach out to their local PIC representative, and they'll definitely have talking points and be able to get them in contact with the right people to give them more information about it.
Well, I think the technology that's coming up in the swine industry is mind-blowing, and it's neat to see this being worked.
Yeah, no, we're really excited. This is a fun area to work in, and we're really at the point now where we've got great tools available to us. And if you can kind of dream it or imagine it, you can literally set out and develop a project and do it in a pretty short order. So it's great to have this technology, and we're working on other future projects as well.
Thank you for taking the time to talk to SwineWeb.
All right, thank you.
I'm here with Dr. Brian Payne with Veterinarian Pharmaceutical Solutions, and thank you for joining us, Brian.
Yeah, thanks, Rachel, for having me.
We're going down the pharmaceutical path here. What makes Helicin an effective solution for treating tail bites and shoulder sores on pigs?
So Helicin ABF is our second introduction to the wound care market. It's really about the ingredients that are in it. There's multitude of ingredients, but they're really going back and looking at the more natural way of healing. The keys to it are making sure that we allow granulation tissue to come over that wound and to heal it rather than just disinfect it.
And how are producers using Helicin on the farm, and what kind of results are they seeing?
The introduction of Helicin actually came from a request from a customer for sow shoulder sores. That's where we developed it from. They needed a better tool to do it, so we have a lot of people using Helicin for sow shoulder sores, but we knew that there was also an ask for other customers on tail biting. We were hopeful that we could develop one tool to heal the same types of wounds, but deter pigs from further tail biting. So we actually add an additional ingredient in there. We can think of it as a bittering agent that once that first pig bites down onto it, they don't want to go back to that pig.
And what results are they seeing in the Helison out on the farm?
So on the sow shoulder side, we've seen a lot of improvement in wounds healing. We've done research that's been able to show that on an individual sow, those wounds are healing faster than other treatments that have been given. We're also seeing that these wounds are not reopening after we're applying the Helison. For tail biting, we've just completed a study that we've shown a 20% improvement in the tail bites that are already present once you go in there. And then we're also seeing a 30% reduction in new tail bites within the pens that have received the Helison.
What sets Helison apart from the other wound care products out there on the market?
I think one of the leading wound care products is a great disinfectant. So iodine is a wonderful disinfectant, but what it's not allowing is that granulation tissue to come over. A Helison is nutritive in the fact that it keeps the wounds moist. It provides the right nutrients in order for that granulation tissue to form. And I think that's why we're seeing those.
Veterinary and pharmaceutical solutions, you guys are kind of unique in the marketplace that you really hone in and help producers address issues that they may have on their farm. Let's talk about those services that your company offers.
Yeah, absolutely. All pharmaceutical companies are out here to help the vets provide solutions. Where we fit is, I would say, we're kind of a last choice effort where solutions are not being found from other pharmaceutical companies. Compounding is what we do. So we're taking other FDA approved drugs. They may be from other species, they may be from human side. We're compounding those into solutions that can be topically applied or orally administered through the drinking water to provide that solution. So it's not an FDA approved product. We compound from FDA approved products to provide that solution that vets and producers aren't finding today.
And Brian, if people want to find out more about your company or the services you offer or some of the things we've talked about today, where can they find you?
Where they can find me, the best place probably is go ahead and email me at bpayne, Payne, at vetfarm, or they can go to our website at veterinarypharmaceuticals.com.
Well, thank you for catching up with us at World Pork.
Absolutely. Thanks for the opportunity.
SwineWeb, your trusted source for all things pork, right here at the 2025 World Pork Expo.